In the darkest night, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand strong. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Oh, surviving together, victorious, and never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hey everyone, how you doing today? It's Saturday afternoon. You've landed at Surviving Together, a safe space for trauma survivors to come together and connect on their healing journey, as well as providing trauma-related education for all. Today is definitely a let's come together and connect day, and I'll tell you why. Um, Hey Crystal, how are you doing? Listen, I just read your email, and if we get more people in here, I will make the announcement of your announcement if you want me to, if you're okay with me doing that. I know that, but I just have to say congratulations. I'm so happy for you that that came through for you. I just I really can't, I wish I could be there for you. I wish I could be there in Canada with you on your day, but okay. Well, we'll wait a little bit later on in the live until we get some more people in here and stuff, because everybody trickles in, and I'll do it then. So, but just know from me to you, and I will respond to your email personally, by the way. Um, hey, New Beginnings, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. Yes, it is it's an interesting day. It's been an interesting week. Last week here, I think I came on and said, basically I just, I didn't have anything for you and this is what it was and this is what I've been going through. And kind of sharing my, personal message with you. And I fully thought for today, and I even had it up on my calendar that I have, that there was going to be a true crime case that I was going to be doing today. But I I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I've been trying this new thing since last week. I told you guys last week that the past 36 hours, so this is last Saturday I was talking, that I said I was trying this new thing and I was kind of just going with the flow. I was working on my to-do list, but I wasn't like doing one whole task. I was like doing one and then maybe doing something on another task, and then maybe I came back to it, and then maybe I did task that wasn't even on the list, but it was like empty the dishwasher or something that needed to get done, but it filled my time there at the moment, right? That I needed to not be feeling the pressure of my to-do list. And this has been very helpful for me when I've been able to do it. I haven't been able to do it as much this week. Um, Sorry, I'm a little flustered right now because I'm talking to you guys about things in a reverse order that I was going to plan on doing it. But So let me just go back again to last week. So I think pretty sure I told you guys last week that I, the reason, let's say the reason the straw that broke the camel's back for me was I was last week, so not this past week, but the week before that. Um, I had gotten a job and then it had canceled, and then I'd gotten a job and it had canceled. And I was, so by Thursday, it was Thursday or Friday, um, I was so frustrated that I was like, okay, whatever, just absolutely whatever, and that's when I was I'm always looking at my to-do list. That's when I was looking at it and kind of deciding, what should I do, and came up with this more go with the flow way of getting my to-do list done. And it's been very, very effective. And I had seen a um, a job listing I had gotten, I think, before the live, and I didn't have time to respond to it for, kind of a short-term job position. And then I got another, then we had the live. And then after that, I got another one from another company, the same two companies that canceled on me. Basically, I had new projects. And so I did accept one of those offers, and I started last week. So it was, uh, one was better pay and it was like a week or two longer. Still short term, shorter than a month. I consider a short term project. And so, uh, yeah, I was scheduled to start that Tuesday of this past week. So hang on, I'm interrupting my own story. New beginnings, that is awesome. Oh, shoot, I keep forgetting I don't have my mouse. So I'm going to be training to be a vet, and then in April, I'm starting training for the health department. That is just absolutely phenomenal. Way to go. Congrats. Sending hugs and love and good juju out to you. That is just absolutely fabulous. And that's part of what I'm doing today is kind of telling you a little bit about what's going on with me personally and how it's affecting the channel and what I'm planning on doing about that in the future, kind of future plans. And I know I've done several of these, and it'll be interesting to maybe put them together in the past and see if what I was talking about did in fact evolve or if everything evolved kind of a different way. I'll be really, really interested to see where that happened. But so I was thrilled to have, accepted a job that I knew was going to last for 3 to 4 weeks. That was my time frame that I was given. And then Sunday, excuse me, Sunday, I saw a job posting for working with survivors in a legal context that I've done before that I absolutely loved. And I didn't know if it was gonna be exactly the same, but it sounded similar enough that I was very, very interested. So I had my application for it, and then later Sunday, I saved the job and I'm like, 'cause I had to write a cover letter and I'd redo my resume a little bit. So I'm like, "Oh, I don't wanna do that right now." And I just realized you guys are like, the friends that are in my living room have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, or you're my therapist. I can't decide which. I'm just like babbling to everybody. Uh, I'd be interested if future employers try and look at my channel, what they think of some of these. Might have to take a few down. I'm not really sure. But anyway, on with the story. So later Sunday, I saw another posting. Things have been happening in twos, which, by the way, is my favorite number, which is just kind of weird. So I saw another posting that was a very similar job, and it was with the same agency. And by agency, I mean there are places that I work through that are, um, excuse me, actual law firms, and they hire me directly. And then there's other places that are kind of like uh, temp agencies for attorneys, right? And this is one of them. And they do more than attorneys. They do finance and I think other areas, professional, office workers, that sort of thing. So they may be just kind of a more generalized temp agency. I didn't look into their background, but anyway, getting on with the story. Uh, I finally Sunday night I was procrastinating because I had to write cover letters now for 2. Thankfully, the resume, once I got it done, could serve for both, and I I finally sat down and did it, and I said, "There have been so many times in the past where I have procrastinated to the point where I've let the opportunity slip by." And for whatever reason, my fear, my paralysis was stronger than my desire to put in for that job. It does not mean that I didn't really want that job or that, like, could I have broken out of it? Did I want to really, 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 apply? Yeah, I did, but the hold, the fear, the paralysis, whatever kept me from not doing it, was just so, so tight for a long time, and I've been working on that, and it's been getting easier, and so there are more positions, different companies that I've applied for that I'm working through. This one that I'm doing that I started this week is, a brand new, company, agency that I haven't worked through before, so, they've been great so far. Uh but they have very strict hours. Most of the places I'll work through, you can work from like 7 in the morning to 7 at night or midnight. You can, as long as you get your hours in kind of anywhere in there and you work like during the general work day, you work most of your hours, like 6 of your hours during that bulk period. You can take breaks and get things done and whatever, and then come back to it and put a few hours in the evening. Here you can't. Their hours are 8:30 to 6 or 8 to 6:30 and mandatory half-hour break. So it's interesting for me who thrives on breaks and who has been trying this new thing of like, right, not of kind of more going with the flow. I can't do that with this. So I'm gonna have to white knuckle it a little bit for the next, few weeks. But thankfully I like the case. It's I'll say an easy case for me, but I understand it very well. All the components make sense to me. It's, thankfully, I don't dread, going to my office each day for work. So I'm excited for the next few weeks with that. So yeah, Tuesday morning I started this new job and it's for a few weeks, but it's better pay than I've been making and solid income for a month, which for me is just like okay, great. Because I have been having a lot more of these shorter term jobs. Um, and Monday morning. I heard from the agency that I applied for with the position for survivors, working with survivors, and she wanted to interview me Tuesday, the following day, at a time when I was training for my new job. So I agreed to talk to her in the afternoon. So Tuesday morning, I started my job, and Tuesday afternoon, I had an interview with the agency. She agreed that my resume looked really good and I sounded really, like a good candidate for the positions that this one client had. They had several different positions open that were very similar, and she would be happy to send my resume on to the client. So she did that, and uh, following, or no, it was later that day, I heard later Tu Tuesday, it was the end of the day, Tuesday, and the rep at the agency called me and said, "Yeah, the client is interested and they wanna talk to you." So, I set up a meeting for Thursday, so I had an interview with the client on Thursday, and it was the client's recruiter. That's her job, is to recruit people for whatever, all their positions, kind of like that in the HR department. Anyway, the client is a big law firm, plaintiff's law firm mainly out of New York. They have offices in a lot of different locations, but New York is their headquarters where they started. And so I spoke with her there, and by the end of it, she liked what she had to say, what I had to say, and hired me for the position. They have many of these positions that they're filling, and I'm so thankful that she hired me for it. So this position is actually 6 months plus position, and they know that I'm working right now, and so they've agreed that I will start when this job ends, so that I don't have to, burn that bridge, trying to burn a bridge or anything like that, which I am extremely thankful for, because they're getting new people each week. They're training new people each week because they've got so many new attorneys that they're needed to come on for this one project that they're doing, one client of theirs that they're working for. So because I don't have approval as to what I can say in regards to the client or the position, because I'm just getting my initial paperwork started and I haven't gotten the stuff from the client. I'm sure I'm going to have an NDA of some sort. So all I can say at this point is that it is a position where I will be working directly with survivors of sexual assault to help them with their legal claims. Um, I'll leave it at that for now. If I get approval to explain what I'm doing any more depth, I will definitely let you guys know. But it's 6 months. The client does have a history of, if they like you, they will extend your contract, find another project to put you on if that particular one is ending, or they have brought people on full time in house. So at this point, I'm just excited to be starting April with a 6 month job that gets me, you know, April through October with some breathing room, and working with survivors and helping them with legal claims, which I have the expertise in. I am in seventh heaven. I can't even begin to explain to you. I was so thrilled. I think an eek came out of me as soon as I ended the Zoom call. I was just like, first emailed the recruiter and said, hey, she offered me the job, I think it went well or whatever, it sounds like it's a go. And the recruiter called me and she's like, "Oh yeah," she goes, "Before I even got your email, she had already emailed me." And I'm like, "Holy crap. Was she like emailing you as we were talking or something?" So it was really nice that we got confirmation there. So now I just have to, this weekend, I've got new hire paperwork for that firm that I have to complete. And then uh, in a couple of weeks, I'll confirm with the client as soon as I have a solid start date. Because, like I said, it was like 3 to 4 weeks. And if it's the case where they've got, some people, they've got work for some people to carry on. i- If there's another qualified candidate to do that work, I'll give that spot to somebody else, right? Because I've got a different job to go to. But I'm not going to abandon them. If there's no other qualified candidate, they're like, "Hey, we need you to work another week," that's what I'm going to do because that's what I committed to them. So, hey, Deaudrey, how you doing? Hey, Encarnasoul. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm really excited, and honestly, one of the questions that came to me after I got done with the interview, and I'm gonna find a way to ask it once I get a little closer and I actually get scheduled for the onboarding, if that's what they call it. They've got a training for, we think, like maybe a week or something, because they need to explain the process and the legal claims and how to work the system. And they've got a phone system and things like that that will be done through an app through my phone or whatever. But it, it uh, it's exciting, and I'm I'm tickled. Sorry, my brain started just thinking about the job, and I'm just like, I can really can't believe that I'm going to be doing this work. Um, it, it it is so fulfilling, and I thought that I was I was going to, like I said, I was going to come to you with something different today, and I was going to do the same thing last week. And when I was here last week, I had just had 2 jobs cancel on me, so I didn't have work. I did the live. Within 24 hours, I had 2 job offers. Within 24 hours after that, I found 2 new job postings for the same client, for the same law firm. They were just 2 different positions. And within a week, by this live, I'm giving you another update and telling you that I got 2 new jobs. One short term that I started this week, and a longer term job that, cross your fingers, who knows, will, knock on some wood, will turn into something. Uh, Maybe more after the 6 weeks if they like me and if things go well. But I am interested of seeing as part of their training for this longer term position, because all the contract attorneys that they're bringing on for this project, um, I know that they want people who are, interested in human rights or victims' rights or have worked with survivors, and, plaintiffs, people who would be able to talk to their survivors well, right? But I'm wondering if they have any trauma informed training, right? Because um, there is a particular way to be able to approach, I think, even as an attorney, uh, a survivor, to be able to speak with them. So, you know, I'm gonna keep my question to myself in regards to that, uh, until I can see, um, what the onboarding looks like. I'm sure I'll get like an itinerary and a syllabus, right? Um, as to what the training will encompass. So I'll wait till I get that, and if it doesn't say anything about it, I will raise it and say, hey, have you guys thought about this at all? Um, and even if it doesn't end up doing anything for this, maybe I can start that conversation with that law firm as to, you know, training the attorneys who talk to survivors in these types of cases. So, um, not saying that I would be doing the training myself, although I'm not opposed to it, but I would have to put something together. And it seems like a big ask right now, but all I can say is I'm not opposed to it, right? Uh, that is part of my go with the flow thing because there's a couple of other things as I've been thinking about, well, where do I want the channel to go? Where do I want to go personally? Having this chance to do legal work with the survivors for an extended period of time for me is a dream come true, which I think I already said, but it bears repeating because I've been thinking about what kind of comes next when it's just doing the legal work and just doing surviving together. And I mentioned last week I was trying to figure out, is there a way I can get paid for advocacy work or working? I don't didn't want I can't work with trauma survivors one on one, solving like working with them as in working with all of their issues, trying to get them housing or you know what I mean, really working one on one with them. Um, with the legal claims, it's different because my interaction is very defined, right? Um, I'm here to speak to them about books, and of course, coming from a trauma informed standpoint, I'm going to be empathetic with them and, it's a whole way of talking and treating them and whatnot. But it's, people would be like, well, you're working with survivors all day long with the new job. Yes and no. I'm doing a lot more than just working with survivors if I was like a victim advocate or something like that. So I had kind of decided, I didn't want to do that sort of one-on-one work, but what else could I do? Um, that this long-term job came along is just like heaven sent. The universe is falling in place a little bit this year. Um, we'll see what's next. I've I've got some ideas in terms of something that I can do personally, like just as my own law firm, something that I could do, helping survivors, particularly with expungements. Well, although a new federal law was passed in regards to that, making it easier for human trafficking survivors to um, get their criminal records expunged, it only applies to federal crimes and only Class A and Class B ones. And I haven't looked into what Michigan is. So I do have a friend who's done expungements, but they've been like driver's license and things like that. But it's a place to start, you're right. And I need to pull up the expungement law. So I've got a lot of research to do in regards to whether or not that's a valid place to go to possibly work with survivors of human trafficking to get the records expunged depending on what the law is here in Michigan, because I'm going to guarantee you that most of the types of crimes that are described or covered in the federal law, most of the people with trafficking, if they have a criminal record, it's going to be state. And so law doesn't affect them. But we'll see. And then that may lead me, who knows, maybe that'll lead me to some advocacy work to strengthen our laws if we don't have something like that, right? And we could pattern it off the federal law, take the best pieces of it. I haven't read it in detail. Um, I only read kind of the meat of it, but I did read the actual law. So who knows? Maybe that'll, maybe I'll work into some advocacy work that way. Maybe it'll be advocacy work, but not on a strengthening the law to make it easier for expungements, but it'll be some other aspect of making a law better, to be more helpful and serve survivors better. Who knows? But I could see myself doing that. I could see myself doing trainings, um, talks, speeches, education of any sort, um, that's not online, right? I'm keeping my doors open, basically, just letting the universe flow in and seeing, have a job through, have work, let's say, um, cross your fingers that nothing happens with these. I'm hoping I didn't announce too premature that nothing happens with this job, but you know what? If it does, we'll go with the flow and we'll see what happens there, right? We'll roll with it and go. But as of now, I've got a little bit of financial stability coming. Um, it's always hard getting those first checks started, right? Because you start working and then your first check doesn't start for a couple weeks. But having that, I think, will let me focus on the rest of my life a little easier because job search is taken out of the equation, right? So something that's always kind of hanging in there. It's like, do I need to do job search right now or do I do, I'm working for a couple weeks so that can hang out. But then when that's done, I got to go back in. That's another thing on my to-do list, right? And it kind of comes in and out. So not having it there for quite a long time, I think is going to take a load of stress off of me. And knowing that I'll be able to pay my bills, knowing that this is just the type of job that I did for about a month before, and I enjoyed every single day of it. I enjoyed every single day. And so I really think that I'm going to feel the same way working with them for this longer period of time. And it is, it's interesting. The reason I don't have anything prepped for you guys again today is, as I said, I've got a couple of true crime cases. One that Kermel sent me. Kermel, I am going to cover it. It is, you know, honestly, it's probably going to be Wednesday, unless I have a guest Wednesday. I have to check. My mind this past week has just been going from two canceled jobs to now having two jobs and having a job through October has just been really surreal, and I'm still kind of uh, getting used to it. And thank you for that, Deaudra. I really appreciate the comment. She said you don't have to have something prepped every time we see you, Mac. And I really appreciate that. And it means a lot to me because I know that in the past several months, let's just take January, or we'll take since the beginning of the year. If I hadn't had a guest planned, I really didn't have much planned, me just coming to you. And they've been kind of getting more frequent. And that is because once I've been getting more serious about some things that I need to heal still. that I've never completed, that I think highlighted themselves a little bit since I've been on my own, since Kieran hasn't been here. I have nobody else to look at but myself, nobody else to see. Nothing. I mean, no, literally nothing else to take care of. No cats, no nothing. And because it's only me, there's no other distractions other than the distractions that I make. Um, I've been starting to feel much more of a connection with my body, between my brain and my body. And that's a difficult thing for trauma survivors. We often separate that because of our trauma. And so reconnecting the two, for some people it's really easy. For other people, they struggle with it. Sometimes in our lives it's easier than others. I'm always that kind of person. And in times of stress, I definitely feel that pull, right? And more of a disconnect between the two because that's my safer space. And dealing with too much stress, I can't. It's one less thing that I have to worry about. But I've been trying really hard to listen to my body and what it's trying to tell me, and realizing that, Mac, this is where your trauma is stored. And if it's telling you to slow down, it may not be just because you need to be eating better, or because you're coming down with something, or whatever. It could be because of something mental, and mentally your brain has no way of telling you that. And so it's, that brain gut highway, that connection there. uh, it's your body's way of signaling to you, hey, something needs to be paid attention to. You need to stop. And that's what it was for today. So I don't have it with me, it's downstairs, but I even made a list, just this morning, what to do. And number one was research this crime case, because I had to prep for the live. And as I was going through the morning routine and starting to get ready to settle down, to get prepped and going through my to-do list for the day, that's when I started feeling my body, and that's when I started listening to it. And at first, I did brush it off, and I'm like, no, I got to do the case. I'm really interested in the case, right? I want to bring it to you guys. And and then the feeling came back again. I said, no, I got to listen to it. And if it means in the short term, and by short term, I don't know, it could be another show or two, it could be another couple of months. These types of informal talks, with me not having really much of a plan, other than, hey, this is what's going on in my life right now. What's going on in yours? If they're more frequent, it's because I'm healing. And Deaudrey, the reason that your comment affected me so much is because I had written down here that listening to my body, it's a very positive step for me. And but I feel like I'm letting the channel down. And that's exactly what I wrote, because no prepared content. And I love having these informal chats. I just worry about having them too often and people lose interest, because, it's just people gathered. But with that said, listen, guys, I have set one day a month for Laugh Saturday. I'm probably, just because once I get back into it, I really have stopped. Got the people scheduled right now who I've got scheduled, there's people I need to reschedule or get scheduled that I've already done pre-interviews with, um, for both human trafficking and non-human trafficking topics, and I will get to them. All of that's kind of been on pause between, work and other things that I've needed to do, and just basic making sure I showed up here twice a week, because like Wednesday, we had Gabe's scheduled, which if you guys have not had a chance to watch Wednesday's episode with Gabe, I really hope you do. Gabe works with the Brazos County Sheriff's Department in Central Texas, USA, in their anti-trafficking crime or anti-trafficking task force. Um, and we we had just such a great conversation and talked a lot about human trafficking from a law enforcement perspective, from from learning about human trafficking, from being able to recognize it, from understanding trauma informed, understanding what being trauma informed is, getting that training, um, understanding what law enforcement needs to do better. It just covered so it was really, really great. Um, Crystal said, I loved Wednesday's live, getting to interact with you, Mac, as well as Gabe. Great. I'm so glad. Yeah, he was just such a great guest. I've spoken with him since. We're going to get together to talk again and see if I don't know with what he experienced, if he's going to fit into my military sexual assault case, but he might provide background information, right? And maybe if I have a case where I want to just talk through something and some changes that the DoD has made and whether they've been positive, and just kind of get his perspective as a former military person, and guy, really, right? Um, yeah, Dree says that she's going to watch the live after this. Great. And leave a comment. Yeah, guys, if you haven't liked the show already, if you could do that before you leave, that'd be great. You want to see more content like this, and that's actually what I was getting at. But like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Comment after the show. Um, I don't know if I've prepared the outro, so we may just have end stream bye at the end. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, what I was getting at with these types of talks is we have last Saturday. I want to set aside probably, after April, at least one live a month where I'm going to do something with human trafficking, whether it's bringing a victim story or somebody who's working in the space, what's their story. We've got gentleman by the name of Louis Greek, and he works with Truckers Against Trafficking, TAT, here in the United States. And he's scheduled for a few weeks. I was going to say, oh, the end of March. It's like, oh, that's not too far off. I think he's scheduled for the 25th. So I need to double check that, or you can check his thumbnail. I'm pretty sure his thumbnail's up. If it's not, it will be up by the end of the day tomorrow. Tomorrow is my day to work on everything with the channel. And that's one reason that that I didn't force myself to get through doing the case today and doing the research work, is I knew I had some things for tomorrow that I wanted to prep tonight, just in terms of getting things getting my to-do list managed, right? So I could start tomorrow off going, basically. And since I have the whole day free, it's channel work. It needs to be. And my office. The to do my office, I should say, to do channel work really effectively, I do need to have my office set up so that when I need to do something, I can come in, I know where everything is, everything's always set up. Uh, it's full day tomorrow. We'll see how much gets done. Again, if I don't get all of it done, if I get all of it done, oh my God, that'd be great, right? I'd probably do a short celebrating and showing you guys the new office because I'd be so thrilled. I do not think that that's going to happen whatsoever, but it's a nice thought. But we'll see how much gets done, right? And I'll keep working at it each day. I've got my job that I've got to fit in, so it's evenings, and I'll just keep working at it and keep working at having, uh, getting through my to-do list, which means getting these people scheduled and rescheduled for different shows. And then eventually, once I kind of get caught up with all of that, I can start reaching out to some new people. I've made some new connections on LinkedIn, and I want to reach out to some of them who are doing some really interesting things. That's really, guys, how I've been finding these people is through LinkedIn and just connecting with people who either have domestic assault, sexual assault, advocacy, trauma, um, that sort of thing, human trafficking in their title or in their first little blurb. I think it checks the first paragraph. I'm not sure in the search and just doing connections, just click, 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 click. Yes, I want to connect with you. Yes, I want to connect with you. Yes, I want to connect with you. And then finding out more about their stories. That's how I've been able to get with um, all of these people. We have somebody I've just scheduled for, I think it is April 6th, 8th, somewhere in there. You check the date because I'm not 100% sure. Well, the 4th is a Saturday. So 4th, so 5th, and then 6, 7, 8. So 8. I'm pretty sure. But I don't have a thumbnail up for it yet. I don't think. But that is going to be with one or two, I'm not sure, representatives from an organization called Lantern Rescue. And they're based here in the United States, but they have people who work with them who live all over the place, all over the globe. And they've done rescues and assisted with rescues all over the globe and done training and just a fabulous, again, a grassroots organization that started with just, one person saying, hey, I think we should do this, and contacting people she knew. And all of a sudden they've got a nonprofit and they're making things happen. So we're going to be speaking with them again, Lantern Rescue. And I think you can find them at lanternrescue.org, but I'll have the thumbnail up. So I'm going to be working on it's all stuff that is in the pipeline that I'm going to be working on getting up tomorrow. And that's why I don't want to get stuck too much on the thought tomorrow of having to get my office set up, because what really needs to get done is the work on the channel, right? So it's, I have to really define it. I get the office set up to this point only, and then everything else has to wait until I get time, which will basically be evenings this week, and we'll see. But I hope in time. Oh, I'm sorry. And I know I've been rambling a little bit today, and I apologize for that, guys. I'm just seriously going with the flow. Just trying to, it's going to be interesting. A first full week with the job. I starting it off with a bang with a dentist appointment Monday morning before work. Woohoo! At least I'll be, I'll have pearly whites and good breath, and I'll be nobody there to share it with, whatever, but I'll be starting the work off nice with a great smile that way, at least clean one. And I want to set up a date, and I'm thinking probably a Saturday again. Wednesday seems to be a really good guest night. It's if guests are going to come on, it's during the weekday, right? They don't have to interrupt their weekend if they can fit it into their schedule to be able to do the 6 o'clock. And I think, more people are just kind of tuning in and doing their nightly stuff, whether it's dinner or they're evening routine and just kind of listening in. So Wednesday seems to be a really good day for guests. And I'm thinking that we'll definitely, not definitely, I'm thinking of doing so, just chat session. Don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Survivor chat, and who knows? Uh, one day a month, right? And we'll pick one Saturday. So maybe it's the last Saturday of the month. First Saturday is last Saturday. Last Saturday is, chit chat, get everything off your chest. Uh, for me, it'll be kind of a month wrap up of what has been both personally and with the channel, and a chance to say, what's coming up for the following month, again, both personally and with the channel. Uh, so yeah, I'm leaning towards the last Saturday of the month. What do you guys think? The last Saturday of the month will be designated as chat live, right? Time to get together. We'll come up with some. Well, that's something for you guys. Please, in the comments, let me know. Do you have an idea as to what to call this? So we need, survive. So I don't like survivor chat, but you know, something that is encompasses that we're coming together. Sassy chat, the sassy community chat. I like that better. But if you have an idea for the name for the last Saturday of the month, when it's time that we gather and we look back at the past month and we look forward to the past month and just chit chat, which we do in our lives, somewhat harder to do when you have a guest, but one day a month or week, set it aside. So let me know in the comments. That is your job if you have any referrals to the name. Kamal is throwing out there the SAS chat. Yeah, I'm really kind of liking this. So here's what we'll do. Either next live or next Saturday. So either Wednesday's live or next Saturday. I'll have decided, right? And I'll put it up. Since it'll be last Saturday of the month, I'll be able to just schedule the thumbnails to appear. And I'll figure out, it's on my to-do list then to get out because they'll be in 2 weeks. Last, right? Yeah, the 28th will be the last, so in 2 weeks. So I'll have the thumbnail up by then. 'Cause it's gonna have to go on my to-do list of things to do. Deodra says she likes Cremel's. Cremel's the sass chat. Crystal says sassy conversations. Okay, let's throw that out. Oh, and Deidre, I saw that you were going to be in South Africa next week. I'm really jealous. Hopefully, you're going for good reasons and not because somebody passed or anything. I would really hope that that's not the case. So, but I wish you all the best, safety and travels, and um, you know, bring me back a souvenir. But I hope your trip goes really well, and we'll be very interested to hear about it when you get back. So we'll be thinking about you. Oh, so now that we've had more people in, and I know more people are going to be listening, I have one other announcement to make. Hang on, I gotta grab something up because I gotta look for uh, March 23rd. Okay. March 23rd. What day of the week is that? Where's my phone? Oh, DeAudrey says she's going for her dad's 80th and her birthday and her parents' 50th anniversary. Wow, that is amazing. Yes, hugs and love to them. That is just fabulous. My dad turns 80 in May. My parents just celebrated in February their 50, hang on, I gotta get it right. At that point, the 57th wedding anniversary. De Beers is still active there. That'll make for a nice present, Carmel says. Yeah, right. Uh, no, thank you. Give me a man-made one. Much cheaper, look just as nice. DeAudrey, grab me a bottle of Australia, or not Australian, of South African wine. That's what you were talking about. DeAudrey says not in the budget this year, Camille. I don't know how people still put De Beers in their budget any year right now. Yeah. Um, 50 years. Oh, you were talking about for your, oh my gosh, I'm so silly. I just said something to DeAudrey about bringing me back a present on our trip. And Carmel's talking about a present, and I thought he was talking about the present for me. He's talking about a present for his parents because it's the 50th anniversary, which is his diamond anniversary. And I am just too slow to put all together. I'm feeling really narcissistic today and just thinking everything's about me. I won't say narcissism, I'll just blame scatteredness. I'm just like putting one together. You're looking forward to wine and sushi and samosas and real bagels. Oh, that is really interesting. I know the wine we've talked about, and I can totally get the where you're coming from with samosas. Um, I don't know how they differ from the samosas in East Africa, but ooh, wow, so, so good. And it's just interesting to say sushi and real bagels. I don't equate South Africa with real bagels. To me, that's like a New York thing. New York bagels are the bomb, guys. I lived there for 8 years. Can't get real bagels out here in the sticks. Okay. I'd be very interested to compare your real bagels in South Africa with New York bagels. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying I'd really be interested to compare to see how they compare. Just you can contrast them. Are they it's size? What do they come with? Things like that nature. I'd be really. You're just too scatterbrained today. I am. And part of it was because I just kind of released this idea of having to um, do the research work, and so it just lightened my load for today. And even such, I've got things done today, not a whole lot, and it's tidbits, but I am working towards it. But the biggest thing is I am making progress, smaller progress than I might have if I just, you know, forced myself to sit down and do one particular thing. But the stress that I don't have, the stress that I don't feel because I'm not forcing myself to do something on my to-do list. Oh, yay, you're in oh my gosh, I can't Cape Town has a bagel shop. Uh, I'm gonna guess you're saying similar to New York bagels. And your dad makes his own. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Does he make just regular ones or like what kind of toppings does he put on? Do you guys like sesame seed or my favorite from nostalgia? What I grew up just we always went once a week after Shabbat service. We Saturday afternoon we would go out and depending on where we went, one of the places was a place that had bagels and salt bagels were my fave. It's what I got all the time. And so that's what I equate with great bagels is good salt bagel. Um, but DeAudrey goes on to say, I've had New York bagels. South African bagels are smaller, but the same. Baked and boiled in sugar water, like they should be. Oh, how interesting. So they come out sweet. So the dough is a little bit sweet. Oh, I'd love that. Now, do you top it with like a little bit of sugar or powdered sugar or anything like that? Guys, I am sorry. I have got to check on something. I will be. I'm sorry about that, guys. My phone was in the other room and I heard it beeping. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm live or whatever. But then it was like beep after beep after beep. And it was like incoming text messages. I'm like, what is going on? So, I had to check it just to make sure it wasn't my son or anything. See, only reason that I would like cut off a live was because my son needed me or my parents or my brother. Yeah, pretty much them. Incarnasoul, hey, how are you doing? Says I've always been a cinnamon raisin person. Cinnamon raisin bagels are good. Jadri says he makes them mostly plain. Well, I love the sound of the dough. So he doesn't put anything, he just boils them and then takes them out and lets them dry. He doesn't put anything, any topping on it or anything. No extra sugar or anything, just the plain dough. Still sounds good to me. Cup of tea. Or even just a little bit of butter. Crystal's a blueberry person. Yeah, I love them, but I will say, yeah, in general, in the US, unless you get like Lender's Bagels, Lender's is a brand, and their bagels are pretty small. It's what I imagine George about the size Geoffrey is saying for her father's bagels or South African bagels. Because New York bagels are like this. And Big Apple Bagel, Big B, other places that do bagel. I don't know if Big B does bagels, but you know, other places that do bagels, they're all going to be these gargantuan things, and they use them for sandwiches, and they're awesome. They are so calorie filled. They are just like the amount of carbs that you get, and it's like, it's at least half of your daily intake of carbs, I would guess. Yeah, I'd be so interested. I am not, I will say anything to do with dough. I am generally not the person though. I am not a baker. I could do box brownies or box cake. Um, but those are pretty hard to screw up. And that's about it. So otherwise the oven gets used for roasting things, slow cooking things. Just not, I think I tend to over knead the dough. I don't have a feel as to, I've never had anybody teach me. So I've never had anybody go there. That's what it's supposed to feel like. That's done. Oh, that sounds so good. Judge says both my parents used to make his her dad also makes an amazing onion bread. Yum. Yum. That sounds great. Carmel goes for just a plain bagel with lox and sour cream. Sour cream or cream cheese? I can see either. Cream cheese is the more traditional. Um, and so by lox, um, people don't know lox is smoked salmon, cold, usually pretty thin, shaved, and put it on a bagel and then cream cheese and then put the lox and then some people put pickles or gherkins, sweetened ones, dill pickles on top or like a piece of dill too. Depends. Um, yeah, it just says, oh, you eat the bagels with various kinds of cheeses. Ooh, yeah, I'm down with that. I'll book a trip when I have that kind of spare money just sitting around in the bank. And we'll meet in South Africa, Deidre, and we'll have a family reunion. And you can introduce me to everything South African. I would just love it. Absolutely love it. And then of course when I have, backup money to that backup money, I'll do a European can't speak today. European expansion tour, right? And I'll do Europe. And we'll catch you. I'll catch you again in Ireland then, Deidre. Carmel will catch you in the Netherlands. And anybody else who's hanging out there, um, who still watches, who's over there, I'll kind of try and make us live. Oh, you do mean sour cream, Carmel. Traditional Dutch sour cream. Interesting. I mean, I can see how the lox and the sour cream would go together. That's why I said I could see either one. And then it being on, and I'm assuming it's a thick type of sour cream, right? To put it on a bagel, that would make the most sense. Deidre says there used to be a big Jewish community in Cape Town about 50 years ago, so bagels are taken seriously. So is babka. Wow. I didn't know it declined, but I did know that there were places in South Africa that had I don't know if it's the oldest one in the hemisphere or Nairobi. And again, I don't know if it's the longest one that's been there in Nairobi or if it's one in South Africa. But I went to one in Nairobi that had been there for forever, and it was pretty amazing in this middle of this African city. And here's this, and it was right next to my university too, and just busy streets all around. But when you walked in, it was all covered in greenery and stuff, and it was like all of that outside world just ceased to exist. It was the most beautiful thing. Um, one of the most beautiful things that I've ever experienced because it wasn't just stepping into the space and stepping into the space of tradition and you walk in and you see the pews and they're separated and because you've got male and females are separated because this is an Orthodox place and just the history behind it, but there's such a visceral feeling when your senses feel different when you come into a space. So going from that outside, all that noise in the middle of the city and stuff, and then feeling like you've been sucked into this other realm, and you're just like, where did I go? Where did the outside world go? And they've got these beautiful gardens and benches that you can walk through and sit down and wow. Sorry guys, that was just a memory that popped up and would not quit, but it is a dear memory. I went there often when I uh, was studying at the University of Nairobi. Just, it was a long, long way from home when I was young. And it was a nice, safe space to get away from the feeling of the city for a minute and sit in those gardens. Um, yeah, wrote a lot of letters back home in those gardens. Yeah, Kermel says there used to be big Jewish communities here in each town in the Netherlands. Yeah, I do know those declined a lot in the war, right? And then um, I will say I know nothing about the Jewish community in the Netherlands post-war, other than there was a big decline. So if there was declines for other reasons or there was other waves that I do not know about. Yeah, I have heard this, and it makes perfect sense, right? That in a way, I liken it to New York or any really major city. We've got a lot of ethnicities that come in. There's a town a couple hours south of me, South Bend, Indiana, and they have um, Notre Dame there, which is quite a famous university. And I was so shocked because it's South Bend, Indiana. It's Indiana. You're in the middle of the Midwest, right? But because of the global students that they attract, when my friend drove me down the road and you're seeing, strip mall after strip mall and restaurant after restaurant, and the variety of food from all over the world that was represented was mind blowing to me. I expect that in like New York. I even expected, okay, maybe in Detroit's such a bad example, a bigger city, Chicago, but I did not expect that there. So South Africa, but Deidre says South Africa is a great melting pot for food. Some of the best bagels you've ever had were at a bagel shop run by a Muslim couple. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I would love to come to South Africa. Um, I had just a wonderful experience in East Africa, and I'd love to go. I'd love to go all over Africa. Oh, they're back in most towns. Oh, somebody commented on, I don't, it was Deaudrey or if it was Crystal. Somebody commented on my hood, uh, my hoodie, that it looked like really soft and velvety. It is. You're right. This is one of my comfort things that I put on today, and it's like a sleep blanket, like a snuggle, or I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it's a hoodie, but it goes down like almost to my knees. So it's huge, right? The kids got it and they liked the novelty of it. I think one of them gave it to the other. And then it was like, nah. And they were gonna give it away. And I'm like, yeah, you can give it away right here. It's in my closet. So yeah, on days where I want to be just kind of snuggly and warm and you get that extra warmth layer of of your legs, so you feel a little more wrapped, a little more cocooned. I chose this for a reason today. It's definitely my comfort outfit. Anyway, that is really all I have for you. I have not, oh shoot, I was gonna check. Anyway, I have a guest coming up. Her name is Carrie Paul, and she is with an organization in Florida that helps abuse survivors. I think of various types. I need to go and look back at my notes. But she was previously employed by a place that helped with one of these rescue operations in Florida. And they say they have all these agencies involved, law enforcement and support services. They were there as one of these support services that helped coordinate, previous to the execution of the rescue. And I just got a notification. I have not had a chance. It really, truly has been such a busy week to look at it. But there was another rescue in Florida of at least 89 victims, 89 survivors, and I don't know how many arrests. So I haven't looked into it, and I want to bring it to you. I want to talk about it, but I'm thinking that she is going to be a great guest to speak about it with. And I don't know what date it's on. So if you look at the links, I don't have a picture thumbnail up, but there is at least the thumbnail for the live at whatever date she's scheduled, and it's Carrie Paul. So look for her, and I think we're going to talk about it then, because I want to talk to her about what kind of um, coordination is involved, and what do you guys expect? What do you guys prep for when you go into something like this where there may or may not be bringing people, back to you? And what are your first steps dealing with them? And um, questions of that nature. So it should be a really, really interesting show. But yes, oh my gosh, Chris, I told you I'm scatterbrained today. Thank you so much for reminding me. So March 23rd, I asked for the date and I asked what date the day of the week that was. And that was as far as I got. And then I squirreled off somewhere else. Yes. Okay. So March 23rd, Monday, March 23rd, uh, Crystal has her surgery that she's been wanting to get is scheduled. It's a go. She's going to be doing her pre-op stuff in the meantime and getting everything, all her I's dotted and her T's crossed in the meantime. And then she's going to have her surgery and she's going to be with her really good friend who's going to help take care of her for a few weeks and transition to back to being able to take care of herself because it'll be a pretty major surgery. But again, Crystal, I am so happy for you. I really truly hope that this brings you peace, right? Or that at least helps you kind of get beyond a point in your healing maybe that this has prevented you from. I hope it's everything you want it to be. I truly, truly do. And we'll be here all every step of the way. So let us know as soon as you can if you can have Kim let me know either in an email or if she happens to pop into a live or something and just let us know how it goes. If she can email me, just on Monday after your surgery and just let me know you're doing okay, or Tuesday, yeah, just let me know you're doing okay and recovering. I really would appreciate that, and I will be saying prayers in the meantime. So it is, guys. I don't want to jinx it, but I got a good feeling about 2026. I got a feeling that when we look back on 2026, we're going to say, you know what? Some really, really good stuff happened. It wasn't all easy, but whatever came out of it was worth it. Whatever particular thing that it happened to be. I truly think that 2026 may make us work for some things, but it's making us work for the right things and things that are setting us up for maybe what comes next or decisions that we're going to have to make in the future. I don't know. We'll see. Right. Crystal says, I hope all goes well. This is not just cancer prevention, it also helps my trauma stuff. And I am from me to you. It's only a day surgery, really. Wow. It's outpatient surgery, is what you're saying. Oh, holy. I would not have thought that a double mastectomy would be outpatient. Maybe it is here as well, but I would have expected at least an overnight stay so that they can make sure to monitor you for, I don't know, 24 hours with the drainage and packs and getting you situated with kind of the first 24 hours, making sure no infection sets in. Um, so wow, I'm surprised. I have no idea in the US if it's an outpatient. It very well could be. Um, I just, well, wait a minute. So my friend's family member, yeah, no, it was a he 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 took her and he took her home. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, it's only a day here too. So congrats. So I got good feelings. Like I said, knock on some wood, do whatever you need to do, throw a pinch of salt over your shoulder, say a few Hail Marys or oh, that this doesn't jinx anything, but I think 2026 is going to be bringing us some good things. And maybe it's things that are, yeah, they kind of feel good in the short term. And, what I'm hoping is that this just keeps turning into things better and better. Or maybe this is setting me up for something that needs to happen next year. Maybe there are things that I need to go through, experiences that I need to have, lessons that I need to learn, knowledge I need to gain that um, needs to happen before the next phase of the next step, whatever else is out there for me next. So I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about going back to school too. And not for a degree per se, but maybe just to audit classes. I do better, I think, in a classroom type situation where, you've got somebody teaching material than I am with trying to teach myself. Yes, there's a lot of material out there for free on the internet, but I don't do well. Just ask my fifth grade math teacher. The section on percentages totally failed because I was in a split class. So she taught for the lower grade and then she taught for the higher grade, but there were several of us who kind of fell somewhere in between. So we were in fourth grade, but we were doing fifth grade math, but we were actually doing more than their fifth grade math. So we had these like they almost look like flashcards, but they were big. They were like this, and they were our instruction cards. And we taught ourselves. We just read through them and, did our worksheets and stuff and scored ourselves. And it was part of an entire unit. So the fact that I failed that one and aced everything else, like I still did well enough to move on to the next unit, but learned nothing about percentages, had no clue as to how to do them for years and years and years. And there's still aspects of them that get me confused. So yeah, doing it myself is not an option. Sorry about that. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've not been a part of any of your lives. I think I caught one maybe a couple weeks ago or something. I have seen your um your notifications. I do get your notifications, but if you listen to any of what I've said today, I've had a lot on my plate, and it's the one thing from going with the flow and trying to listen to my body that I'm learning from all of this is that I have to take things in smaller pieces. It's just the way that I have to do things right now. I'm liking it in the back of my brain to SEAL training. They say people say, "How do you get through SEAL training?" And they say one evolution at a time. So it's like one task, one job, one set of burpees, one set of pull-ups, one swim, just whatever task is in front of you. I just need to get through this, right? And so it's kind of taking it in regards to that, and it gets me through day to day and what I have to do week to week. And it hasn't left a lot of free time for going back and doing things. My free time has kind of been listening to some nice Hertz music or something. Just like out. Um, but I'm glad you guys are doing things in body. Next time you're on, I will try and catch. And I wanted to say because I I remember too late, body, that I did not thank you. I think it was at last Saturday, and I had my hair down, and you told me that you loved my hair, and I did not comment back. And I am so sorry. I saw it and I meant to comment back, and I didn't, but I wanted to let you know I did see it, and it's very much appreciated. Even though that I know that you love it when I have it down like that, it's always still so nice to hear. I think it's important to make those little comments. I've talked about this before, kindness doesn't cost anything. And I said something to a lady the other day, and it was her top or pants or a skirt or something. And I just said, it's a lovely, whatever piece of clothing was. And the smile on her face, because could tell that I was already starting to walk away. I meant nothing else more by it. I wasn't trying to get anything out of her. I was just trying to compliment and move on, just bring a bit of sunshine to her life. Say, "Hey, I think it looks nice on you." And it did, and she smiled, and that just made it totally worthwhile. 5 seconds it took me, right? 5 seconds it took me. I told somebody the other day that, he had a nice smile, and saying that to somebody is very disarming. I will admit, one of the reasons that I said it to this person is because I could see there being a discrepancy between us in terms of height, bulk, whatever. And not that I expected him to act rough or anything like that, but I just, going to be on the proactive side of things. And he did. He had a lovely smile. This is a lovely smile. I was just like blown away. But anybody had decided to say something to them. It really, really can make the difference. Uh, see, I just says that I'm so working hard right now. I'm so tired from work, but I guess it's part of the perimenopause. How is work going? How is work going? I know you've been in and out and haven't been able to make every show and completely understand that. But I mean, your job is new-ish, right? Is it everything you hoped for? Has it been good? I really, really hope it has been because you worked here for it. You would care for it. I'm reading Body Illusions comments, right? And she's like, "I love your hippie hair." And yeah. Oh my lord. Today is a day, right? And DeAudrey, I didn't miss your comment where you said, "I'm curious now, so what case I'm talking about." I'm going to continue to be mysterious, and that will make you watch. I will, as soon as I am done with the research, I am going to schedule a live and make the thumbnail, right? I'm going to do it in that order instead of scheduling it and then not being able to get the research done or not getting it done as well as I want or something like that. Um, it takes the pressure off. So it's just, and I didn't mean that towards anybody. I was truly scratching underneath my chin. Um, We are already in a SAS chat crate. Absolutely. This is the first one. It's just not the first Saturday. This is a soft opening. If you want, if you guys are so inclined, you can make up a whole new logo for the SAS chat. I can put it up. I can put it up in the corner I'll probably put it up in this corner over here. Because my bookcase is always over here now, so probably put it up in this corner. But if somebody is so inclined and is feeling creative and wants to come up with something like that, that'd be awesome. Or wants to come up with a theme song for the chat. Maybe it'll be end up being the outro after chat day because we'll have our regular intro for the show. Um, if you're feeling creative, knock yourself out, right? Knock yourself out. Uh, I do not have the time to invest in stuff like that. I would love to have it. I would love to be able to um, really bring up the quality of work that I present to you by being able to present more graphics during times that I'm talking, say, especially about this case that I want to cover. Being able, I'm going to work on it. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do. Being able to show you guys, his picture, being able to show you guys some things from the newspapers or whatever, to make it a little bit more interesting and instead of just me sitting here rambling and talking about this person. Um, because I know people digest information differently. For some, listening to somebody is very difficult. I do read things that I read, I will take in better than somebody just saying it to me. And they will need to repeat it several times for it to sink in, which explains why my dad repeated things multiple times. First part of it is part of his personality. Get all those P's out. And part of it is I think because it just never stuck. Some things, lessons never stuck with me. So he did it over and over again. I just mentioned that because I have a tendency to do that, and Kieran will definitely call me out on it. He's like, Mom, third time, I got it. You've explained it enough. I'm like, what? Aw, how cute. Georgie says my cat is currently begging for her evening tuna. She sits in the doorway and looks at me, and somehow it makes her eyes look huge. Aw, I miss the kitties. I'm supposed to do Sunday lunch or dinner with Kieran. I may go over to his house. I think the deal should be I'll go over to your house and cook, but you have to have all the ingredients, right? I don't want to be schlepping ingredients. I don't want to be schlepping cookware. A pot pan every occasionally because something we're doing is fine, but I don't want to be schlepping if I'm having to bring my whole kitchen to your place, you might as well just come here. And I guess I'll see the cats another day. But I'm thinking because I'm going to be busy tomorrow and stuff that maybe that's the way. Although we have been doing more him coming over Monday because Sunday is like his day to relax as well and having to get up and do things. So I don't know. We might end up switching Sunday dinner to Monday dinner, and it's just easy for him to come over after work and uh and get fed basically and catch me up on what's been going on in his life. Going to have to run. Crystal has an eye appointment, needs to finish getting ready. Absolutely. Best of luck to you, Crystal. I hope that we'll see you in the lives, between now and Monday, March 23rd, day of her surgery. We are so excited for her. Yay! I just looked and saw it was 4:30. Holy crap, I've been rambling on for an hour and a half. Wow, wow. So, good news out of this from a personal standpoint. Recap. I got two jobs, replaced two that I canceled, and one of them's long term, and one of them's working as survivors, and I couldn't be happier or more thrilled. The reason you didn't have a topic today is because I was listening to myself, listening to my body that was saying, nope, you need to take it easy. And putting the extra weight on my shoulders, the responsibility of having to research and prep for the show today to do a true crime case was just too much. From a channel standpoint, in the meantime, you're getting a lot of these, a lot of chit chats, which we have now decided once a month, the last Saturday of the month is now going to be bump bump. We've had several suggestions. I would love it if you guys could please retype your suggestions in the comments after the show, because I would love to have people comment on them. I really would like to get you guys engaged and get everybody in the Sassy community or anyone who drops by engaged in what we want to call it. So far, we've got Crystal had a suggestion, the something conversation. I don't know, what is it? Sassy conversation or survivors conversation? Oh, I can't find it. Yeah, you're gonna have to redo it. Crystal, if you could put that in the comments again, I know you have to run now, but just, catch the show. Just catch the comments sometime afterwards and put your suggestion in for their chit chat last Saturday of the month. I know Kamal suggested the SAS chat. I had originally said the Sassy chat because Sassy is the C stands for the community, SAS community chat. So Sassy chat. Um, I like both of them. And Sassy Conversation, Kermel found it. Thank you. So Sassy Conversation and Sass Chat. And then let me hang on. So this is what my suggestion was. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can see. So Sassy Chat or the Sassy Chat, I don't know. But so Sass and then the C being for community chat and Sassy Chat. One Saturday a month. I like it. And then the next Saturday, we'll be able to get everything off our chest and vent to each other. And then the next Saturday, we'll be laughing with Laugh Saturday. And shows will roll on. So, what's coming up for Wednesday? Haven't a freaking clue. Haven't a freaking clue right now. I'll need to check. I may have a guest, I may not. If I don't have a guest, chances are, very good chances are, the case I was going to cover today, I'm actually going to cover on Wednesday. So we'll see. I do plan on having a thumbnail up by Monday or on sometime on Monday for Wednesday. Because as I said, channel work is where I'm going tomorrow. So that is, I'm just looking at my suggestion. I have to remember venting with Max chat, right? That'll be like our sub line, like our tagline, the sassy chat. Vent with friends. Whatever. Like we're just surviving together, never alone, right? It'll be the sassy chat. Da-da-da-da. We'll have another vote with that. We'll have our tagline. I think that'll be fun. All right, guys. As soon as I decide what Wednesday's going to be or figure out what Wednesday's going to be, and I need to check the schedule. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. 2 seconds. I can at least let you know if there's somebody scheduled because I do have, I can bring it up here. It's being very slow. It'll be the 18th. So no, I do not have a guest scheduled. So chances are I will be doing the true crime case that I wanted to cover. Great case to cover, awful case in reality, but definitely something subject matter that and some errors were made, some things that need to be talked about with this case. So hopefully I'll be getting that all together tomorrow and can put it up and get you guys a thumbnail so that you can have it for Wednesday's case. So that's kind of my best guess at this point. Wednesday, 6 p.m. live. We're gonna keep you here forever. Do you guys remember the one where, oh, I don't want to say it, but we started with a guest, and then I brought up another guest, and then I brought up a third guest. First one had left. And then just people from the community started wanting to come on and talk, and we ended up with like 6 people, and it went for 4 hours, guys. That was the longest. I finally had to cut it off. We went to 7 o'clock in the evening, and I find my voice was giving out, and I finally said, "Listen, I can leave the stream live if y'all wanna keep talking, but I gotta go." Uh, so that's my longest record. Believe it or not, the early ones were 2.5 hours consistently, always on that long. I don't know what changed. I'll have to go back. I have not watched some of the early ones in a long time, probably since I just reviewed them right afterwards. I'll have to look at them, see what 2 years has done. Have I gotten better in 2 years? Have I gotten worse? What do you guys think? I think everybody here has been with me the entire time or close to it. What do you think? Do I come across better now or worse, or what do I need to fix? It'll be good year. Um, like I said, we've already got some good people scheduled, and I've got other people who I need to schedule or reschedule that are gonna bring, even if they're subjects that we've talked about, it's somebody doing it in maybe taking a niche area of the subject and really focusing on that. I spoke with somebody, I want to get her scheduled, um, but she's Canadian. Um, I gotta remember. Thank you. I gotta remember to reach out to her again. I'm gonna have to go through my interviews. But she's Canadian and she does training, like the Truckers Against Trafficking. She does training for the hotel industry, for hospitality, so that they can help try and recognize trafficking survivors, trafficking victims, at the time, and the traffickers, and help stop it. And so, even though we're talking about helping trafficking, helping stop trafficking, each of them are taking an industry. And what are they doing? And is their message still the same? Are you looking for the same types of things? What are kind of the differences? And different countries. So what you're facing is a little bit different. And in Canada, sex is legalized, commercialized sex is legalized. So it's a little bit different in terms of what they're looking for, where they really have to put some of the focus prosecutorial wise, let's put it that way. Minor doesn't matter. They're a minor, right? Doesn't matter. Sex is commercial sex is legal. But it'll be really interesting to speak to her. So again, niche area, subject we've kind of covered before, but not in that particular area, not in Canada. I'm trying to get some more people from Canada to speak on some other things. I've got some connections to make, referrals that were kind of sent out, names that were sent over, people in the Indigenous population in Canada, which have been historically discriminated against and abused in um, truly unfair, staggering numbers. And it's something, another topic I've really wanted to cover. It's kind of like human trafficking. I would love to cover it as a total series. And as I'm talking, I've got this inkling, this feeling like, yeah, this is going to be the Indigenous population in Canada talking about how they have been traumatized in so many different ways, whether through sexual abuse, domestic abuse, their religion, um, their language, their culture stripped from them, the boarding schools that the kids were forced to go to, um, it- all of that, kind of trauma, and trying to strip an indigenous population's identity from them. And then, it's just certain cases that are good highlights of all of this in Canada. So I've got people that I want to talk to, and as I'm even speaking it more out loud, because I've only really spoken about it in my head, I think that this is going to be the opening series of 2027. I got a feeling, either opening or second. I'm thinking I might, depending on the topics, on like how big they are. Uh, I'm thinking about just limiting it to two a year. If I continue doing this type of thing, this series, and staying on the same topic. We'll see how the year ends up, and if the series have generated interest, if people want to continue to delve that deep into different topics. You you fighting a new Tommy topic. You know, Carmel, you know why? I'm gonna put this up. I love it. You finding a new topic to talk about at the moment will be gone for 4 hours again. Definitely. It's because I don't talk to anybody ever. Okay, so I saw my family for like half an hour, 45 minutes. My brother, my son, and my parents a family dinner yesterday night. Other than that, the people I saw, I had two work meetings. Saw people on the Zoom meetings through that. And then I had my one interview, and my rep called twice. And other than that, I don't talk to, unless I go out to the store and have to interact with like the clerk or something. I don't have to talk to anybody, right? So I said, you came in a little late, Carmel, but I said right at the beginning when I was starting to notice I was babbling, I said, you guys are either like all the people in my living room with coffee or a glass of wine, or you're my therapist. See, and here's the next topic. Exactly. I was explaining why I was talking and babbling for so long. I have to justify my actions, blame my upbringing. All right. But you're right, Carmel. I do need to sign off. I feel my lips are getting chapped. That's not a good thing. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, here's a new topic before I sign off. Wish me luck. It is Michigan. We are coming to the third week of March. Historically, the end of the third week, beginning of the fourth week, we get an ice storm. Don't ask me why. Timing's pretty good. Occasionally, it has pushed itself into April, and it has been like, first weekend in April that we've gotten the ice storm. But it's a coming. And a reason I say that is last night was like preparatory. It sleeted, it rained, it snowed. We had winds of like 50 miles an hour. I have patched every crease, anywhere I could feel like wind blowing. You can find your wind drafts when the wind outside is at 15 miles an hour. I have tried to do as best I can with this place, so we'll see if it holds up until we get our last. That should be our like last storm of the year, and then hopefully spring will be on its way. But with that, I will leave you guys, and I am going to do some relaxing. I'm going to do some housework, and I'm going to work a little bit on putting together my to-do list for tomorrow for the channel. And then, now, Carmel, it's your fault. You threw the topic in this time. All right. I was all ready to sign off. And then he goes and has to throw this in. He goes, I get it. I've got nobody to talk with again either. But I am finally going home tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Congratulations. Love, joy, hugs, prayers. Thank the Lord. Yay. See, look at this. I got this long-term job. Carmel's finally going to the home from the hospital. Crystal is getting her surgery that she needs. Guys, like I said, I know it's not all going to be, rainbows and cherries, but I think that the tough times that we go through this year will mean something at the end. It won't just be tough times for tough times' sake, right? I think that we will see some fruits of our labor or suffering or whatever we want to call it, right? So, Kamal, you can always email me. Uh, Oh, and by the way, since I finally got the name back from Misha, Pirate Ship is what I'm checking that out tomorrow. And I hope then on Monday, because I don't know if the shipping place is open tomorrow. Um, Monday morning on my way home from the dentist, I will stop by and I will get all of the books that I still owe people mailed out. So, in Kermel, I know you're one of them because your first one has gone into the ether. Whoever has it is enjoying it. And Misha's flying to Baton Rouge on Tuesday for the trial. Wow. I know Monday she said she had a meeting. Maybe that's by Zoom. Put the blame on me. That's what you need. You can email me anytime. But oh, I forgot to write it down because it didn't come into my brain for another one. Yes, I do have another topic because I have another announcement. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this until this moment. I forget what clicked, but yes, I have a new topic to talk about. You see that book? Ooh, get it. I'll get it. See that book right there? Oh, I can do you one better. I have it right here from last week. See this book? Begin It Now, the one that I have a chapter in. Yeah, guess what, guys? All of the female, all of the women nominees at the Oscars this year are getting a copy of this book. OMG. I really hope it doesn't end up in the trash heap, but even if it ends up going to the donate and it ends up going to a local store and somebody picks it up from there, I don't care where it goes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Encarnacion. She says copy and swag, right? That's right. I can't imagine the swag that they get from there. I mean, I know that they even have tents where you can go and like pick out your own stuff from there. You depending on how high are up in the stratosphere or whatever, you can pick $500 worth of stuff. Or you can they filmed somebody going through all of that swag and grabbing all their stuff one year, and I watched it. I don't generally watch the Oscars, but that was really interesting. So yes, since that will start before our Wednesday live, let's send hugs and love and prayers and well wishes out to Misha and her family. Uh, they are starting, it looks like, the trial with her daughter, who was murdered by her intimate partner. And this has been a long time coming, and a lot of frustrations, a lot of hurdles that they have had to go through to get here. So uh, I don't know how long they are expecting the trial to last, but something like that could go, anywhere from a week to 8 weeks, right? That depends on how much evidence they have to present. So would have to get more information from Misha or Kamal if you know, because I think you've spoken to Misha about this more. But yeah, let's send all of our hugs and love. And then if anyone speaks to Misha, oh, voir dire is on Monday. So, okay, jury picks on Monday. That's what she was talking about. So jury picks on Monday. It's the start on Tuesday, so she'll be there for Tuesday for the start of the trial. Well, um, if anybody knows how long the trial is going to go, let me know. Yeah, no nomination for the book at the Oscars, but hey, it's making its appearance. I mean, I can say that I was at the Oscars. Oh my gosh. Yeah. At least my face would be, right? There we go. I gotta put it up one more time. So there we go. I'll see. I will be at the Oscars. So they listed some of the, the whoever is up for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress and those people just to kind of give us an idea as to whose people bags it would go into. But I haven't done an announcement on LinkedIn. It's one of the things I have to do as well. So maybe I'll make some shorts out of this show and announce it that way. Um, or I'll just link to the show and so you got to watch it and find it because I've got multiple exciting things going on that have happened today. But that's the major thing with the channel. I was asked to speak at a conference and to be part of a magazine, and I've gotten many of these in the past. And a lot of them uh, because they're putting the conference together, they want you to pay for it. If it's out of town, I would have to pay for my travel to go there. I don't have that kind of, obviously, I don't have the kind of money um, to do that sort of thing. So, one of them, though, you can be present by Zoom. And I did say to somebody, yeah, I'll be interested in speaking to you more about, your effort, what you're interested in doing, as long as there is no fee. Um, and she said she waived the fee, so, we'll see. Yeah, I'm sure Misha is really busy. It just hopefully somebody will hear for her, after the first trial or by Wednesday's live is best what I'm getting at because I would love to be able to get an update from her. So if anybody hears from her by Wednesday's live, you know, give us an update, let us know. It obviously is going to be real busy. I don't expect her to drop in, but if she does, that would be absolutely awesome. Um, that leads me even more so to not schedule a guest for Wednesday. Um, 'Cause it would be important that if she does pop in, that we'd be able to speak with her and kinda get as much information, and I wouldn't be able to do that as easily if I had a guest, so alright. So, we covered 2 other topics that were really, really important that I'm really glad we did. So, hugs and love to Misha for the trial starting. We will all be with her in spirit. We are going to be with Crystal on the 23rd when she has her surgery. Carmel possibly, hopefully, going home tomorrow from the hospital. Yay! And me, just working away, right? Just working away and hopefully being able to take even bigger pieces of stress off of my life. The fact that I don't have to focus on job search anymore, that's totally taken off my plate. All I have to do is work my job and then surviving together stuff, right? Um, it would be really nice to have that and see if I can balance it a little bit more and figure out kind of what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year. I got a semi plan, but we'll see how it all falls out. In Carnesol, if you happen to be able to stop in on Wednesday, if you've been in touch with Misha on Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, just kind of let us know how things are going. Let us know how she's doing. Um, just let us send her hugs and our hugs and love out to her so that she can be, if you happen to speak with her, let us know that we're all thinking about her. And I've got her information. I've been meaning to contact her. I need to send something out as well. So I will try and do that again. That my to-do list. And if it falls through, I really apologize. So can we consider this my reaching out? I apologize that it's done in this manner and not on a one-on-one. But I just know that I have so much going on that if I forget, I feel really bad. So I'm gonna say now I'm gonna try. And that's as well as I can do. Well, 2.5 hours from the beginning. What is this, an hour from when I first noticed that we were going a little long? You know, it's really good because what did I say? I said in the beginning, our lives were like 2.5 hours, and a lot of it was because we had people we were doing something, I won't say that hadn't been done before, but you didn't see it a lot on YouTube where you had a chance to chat. So even if I had a topic and I covered it, we would be talking about that topic or we'd be talking just like we are now. And it that's how we ended up stretching those early shows. And I was really surprised in the beginning. And it's great because we've had you guys, we've had a small group in here today, but you've been chatting and having this communication back and forth. And I think this last Saturday of the month, setting this aside and people knowing that, just like they know that can come to Laugh Saturday, hopefully get some laughs. I am on the hunt for somebody who wants to be up on Laugh Saturday with me. And you can call it a they don't have to be on you don't have to be on for the whole show. You could be are on for part of the show. Whatever part I'm talking about the subject matter. Say like, we had dad jokes or and I brought my uncle on for that portion or we did bad pickup lines last time and I talked for a long time before. So when we did the bad pickup lines, you could come on then. So you don't have to be there for the whole show. Um, Possibly could if you wanted to. If you're interested in being a part of Laugh Saturday live on the show, whether you want to show in video or not, that's up to you. I don't require that anybody shows a pic, but you just have to be present by audio. If you're interested, please email me, survivingtogether, sass@gmail.com, and let me know. Uh, I think I can pull this off, right? So it's almost like monologue type thing, just talking and talking and talking, pretending in your head your friend's answering, reading your guys' chats. But when it comes to like doing laugh topics, I think that I work better with a partner, somebody to work off of, right? I, I'm not one of those people who can just deliver material that's not mine, that I'm not intending to come from me, and have it really be funny. And that's why I was like, oh, these are kind of like okay pickup lines, but I felt the rest of the show was much better than the content of the Laugh Saturday that I was proposing. I don't know, maybe it's just me. And you're right. Here we go, Carmel. Next topic. And you know why? Because it's something that I wanted to say at the end of last Saturday, and I never got it in. Deandra said you should get Body. She has a great sense of humor. Well, if she sees this or next time I stop into her live or next time I think about it, because I'm going to try and put it down on my to-do list, I will email her and see if she's interested. Um, yeah, Kumail not available. Uh, so that is all I have for today. It is 5 o'clock. We have run 2 hours. I need water because I've been drinking coffee. Mm, and I now need water. So, mystery, true crime case. I am pretty darn committed to bringing to you on Wednesday. Hope to have the thumbnail up by Monday, end of day at the latest. Look for it. 6 p.m. Wednesday. We'll be live next. Guys, please remember you are worthy. You are valuable and you are loved just the way you are for who you are. Hugs and love from me. You guys, this has been so awesome. The fact that you've been in the chat, you've been active in the chat today has meant the world to me. I really needed it. Hopefully, you guys have gotten something out of it and can draw some strength from us just being together and uh, sharing life. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for supporting Surviving Together. So we survive together, never alone. And let me pull up my end stream here because I don't know if I have an outro. I do have the outro. So stick around if you want to listen to the outro. I'll change it at some point, but I know it's too long, but I like the song. So enjoy. I love you guys. We'll see you Wednesday.
Through the fire, through the rain, we have walked through endless pain, but we stand, we rise again, stronger now, we break the chain, surviving together, hearts open wide, lifting each other through every tide. The past may have shaped us, but it won't define. Together we heal, together we shine. Every tear, every scar tells the story of who we are. Not just survivors, but warriors too. With love as our armor, we see this through. We see you, we hear you, and we believe in you. Surviving together, hearts open wide, lifting each other through every tide. The past may have shaped us, but it won't define. Together we heal, together we shine. We see you, we hear you, and we believe in you. Mm.